Hello and heartily welcome to today's video. The topic for today is yoga and exercising or movement, and I would like to take today to actually explain a little bit about the different yoga styles, and that finding your style is very important, but not because not every yoga session or each yoga teacher is the same. So if you've been to one yoga session before and you've thought, oh wow, no, that's not really my thing, then I invite you to try something different, because yoga can mean so many things. Maybe you just haven't found your style or your right yoga teacher until now. My name is Dominika Hanschk, and I'm glad that you're here with me. I'd like to start with a personal story because, it shows in a way that we can be completely wrong about the way we think about yoga. So, for example, I'm doing yoga for 15, 20 years now, so it's quite a while. And usually I've been going to yoga classes with different teachers, different styles, but they were all kind of like hatha yoga styles. And what I found was that each class, each session was somewhat different. Yes, there were similar poses and there were certain aspects that repeated itself, but in a way it was kind of like different each time, because the focus of the session, the focus of the class was a different one. And I found myself when I wanted to practice at home, I found that very difficult, because what did I do? Well, yes, okay, roll your yoga mat out and start practicing the sun salutations, okay, and then what comes next? What am I going to do today? I didn't quite know how to establish a routine for myself, because there was no flow, there was no common theme to do, and I found it very difficult to actually select the different asanas for myself and combine them in a way that I would feel pretty cool, pretty happy about my yoga practice in the end. So, funnily enough, when I first started out with yoga, I was working for Adidas, and they had different yoga classes each week. So I was visiting 3 per week with different teachers, and so I had the chance to have several times per week my yoga class, my yoga session. But then, when I moved here into the lovely Bavarian forest, there aren't that many yoga teachers, so it became more difficult. And especially in the last 2 years, when we had these corona lockdowns, there was no chance to actually going anywhere to having a yoga class. So I thought, well, I've got plenty of time due to the lockdowns. The hotel was closed. I had plenty of time and I loved practicing yoga, so I wanted to find my style. I wanted to try different things to work out what would be the right yoga class, the right yoga style for myself. And I figured that having so much time, I could actually read some yoga books, and I started with yoga philosophy. Okay, and I had this really huge book, many pages. And one of the first things I read was about the 8 ways in which yoga actually influences us. And one of them was Ashtanga Yoga. And I figured, okay, let's Google this, watch a couple of videos on YouTube. And I saw, one of the first videos I saw was Laruga Glasa. And some of you might know her. If not, just watch a YouTube video from her and you will be absolutely in awe, because she actually practices Ashtanga Yoga. And what I find fascinating is that she can practice that for 90 minutes non-stop. You don't see a single drop of sweat. You don't experience her out of breath, but she is doing so many different asanas where you would think, wow, I cannot do that. That's acrobatic. That's just wonderful. That's just so wow. And the thing is, when I saw her, I was just like, oh wow, well, Ashtanga Yoga isn't quite right for me, right? And the thing is, it's untrue. I love Ashtanga Yoga because Ashtanga Yoga is the right thing for me. And why is that? Well, during my research, I actually met Dr. Ronald Steiner, and Dr. Ronald Steiner is a very important Ashtangi in Germany, and he actually developed a basic led class for Ashtanga. And I find that very cool because in Ashtanga, I have a specific series. So I know exactly this asana follows this asana follows this asana. So I only need to decide to do yoga, and at the same time I know this is my practice today. And that's something I really love with Ashtanga, because I only know, oh, I'm going to practice now, I'm going to roll out my yoga mat, and it starts with the sun salutations, then we have the next poses, and I just go along, and I can actually tell beforehand what I'm going to do without having to think about it, or which kind of poses am I going to do today, because it doesn't matter. I just know, okay, I'm going to start with sun salutations, then I'm going to do the upward poses, and then I'm going to do the first third, or the second third, or the third third of the first series, and then I'm going to do the finishing sequence, and it's so clear from the outset. And the other thing is, because I know how the first series or the second series goes, I don't need to think about the different asanas. I just think about breathing and where my view is. Yeah, so where do I put my eyes? And that's so relaxing. That's so easygoing, because I can concentrate on breathing, on having this meditative flow, and I don't need to concentrate on, oh, what's next? What is the next exercise I'm going to do? And I'm going to do this movement, and then I'm going to do... It's all there. I just have to roll out my yoga mat. And the good thing is that the AYI Basic method, which Dr. Ronald Steiner teaches, actually gives me for every position, for every pose, for every asana in the Ashtanga series, a lighter version. Yeah, an easy version where I don't hurt myself. And even 70, 80, 90-year-old people can practice Ashtanga. And that's so cool. Because when people are older and they can't get to the floor anymore, they don't need to. You can use a chair. Why is that? Well, if you look at the downward facing dog, yeah, the essence of the pose of the asana is not that you have your hand on your feet on the floor. The essence is that you're actually stretching the backside of your legs, and that you're stretching and elongating your back. That's the essence. And you can do that with a chair. And that's so cool. And yeah, that's what I love about Ashtanga. It gives me this really great meditative flow that I can just breathe along. I forget about everything that was during the day, or I forget about anything that will come during the day, because it doesn't matter. I'm in the here and now on my yoga mat, and all I'm doing is breathing. Yes, I'm moving along all the while. I'm breathing, but the important thing is breathing. That's it. Everything else is just, yeah, some kind of movement, but the breathing, the being in the here and now, the feeling myself, sensing what's going on, that's the important thing of Ashtanga, and I really love that. Okay, so yeah, I mentioned that already. A lot of yoga styles are coming from the Hatha yoga tradition, and there it's really important to find your right yoga teacher, because not every yoga teacher is teaching in the same way. Yes, you might find somebody who is really cool for you, but somebody else might look at them and say, oh no, I couldn't train with them. It just doesn't fit. And that's very interesting. And with Hatha Yoga, you always have some kind of like focus session. So one time you're focusing on heart opening exercises. The next time you're focusing on hip opening exercises. And while you can't transport that to your home and do this session or this class again on your own, I find that very interesting when you only have limited time and you can practice yoga once per week. Yeah, and this is a really cool thing to do, because every week you have something different, a little different topic, a little different focus, and you get to know different areas of yoga, and you get to experience what's good for you, what's not so good for you, and yeah, you can actually develop a good feeling for your body, and that's really cool. I like that. Okay. So, but what else is there? Well, yoga isn't just about practicing asanas. There are also things such as yoga nidra, yeah, the yoga sleep. Well, hey, this is really cool in today's hectic environment that we have, because yoga nidra, the yoga sleep, actually helps us to wind down, to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, and actually come back to ourselves and feel and sense what's going on right now. Yeah, a yoga sleep, I really like it, because you're lying in you're lying down on the floor, you're in shavasana, the most difficult pose in yoga there is, and you're relaxing, you're calming down, you focus on your breathing, you can actually relax your muscles and go into the different areas of your body and really look, am I really coming down, am I really winding down, am I really relaxing, and release muscle tension. And then can I also wind down in my head? Yeah, can I see that there are thoughts coming, but I can also let them go. I'm not focusing on this treadmill. Oh, this and that. I have to think about this, and I have to follow that, and I have to actually wind down and let your thoughts calm down too. And that's what yoga nidra is, and I love that. It's a really good practice. So maybe that's something for you, because you've got a lot of stress, yeah. Or meditation, yeah, or pranayama, breathing exercises. There's so many different areas yoga is focusing on, and you just have to find the right thing for you, yeah. Or yin yoga. Yin yoga is also calming down. You're doing a lot less poses, but you're moving into each pose for a prolonged time, so that you can actually kind of like relax whilst being in a difficult pose. And that's a really interesting thing to sense, to experience, that even when something is difficult, you can still relax. Yeah, and I find that really cool. So yin yoga is certainly something for the stressed mind to calm down and to get back to sense yourself. And it's something I love to practice regularly, because it's really relaxing. Yeah. So yeah, I invite you, give yoga a try, and try different people, try different classes, try different styles, because there's so much out there. There's so much different people teaching yoga, so many different styles that you can try, so many different aspects of yoga practices that you can actually try out and find the right thing for you. And I tell you one thing, when I started out with yoga, I didn't want to know anything about meditation, pranayama. It just wasn't me. But the thing is, this is something that nowadays I really value, because most of the time when we are working, when we are with the kids and so on, there's so much things going on, and you actually need something to calm your mind down again. And yes, sometimes doing asanas is the right thing to do. But often it's just about having the 5 minutes, the 10 minutes, the 15 minutes for yourself to wind down, to relax, to come back to yourself, and then go out there and do your thing. So that's it for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week again, when we have our final yoga topic, and it's all about yoga and thinking and feeling, yeah, yoga and our head, and what we can do there, or what we can learn from yoga there. So bye for now, and see you next week. Bye.